I felt like a big stone was lifted off my chest. All through that day in class, all I thought of was the face of Sean when Arusi pushed him to that cold frozen floor, leaving him in that cold. You have not been yourself since after Sean and I had that fight. I nodded silently, tears running out of my eyes. Arusi placed her hands in mine. Oh, poor darling, I know exactly how you feel. You are now my soul sister. You helped me, accommodated me in your apartment even when you didn't know me that much. You saved me when I was stranded. I can't let you walk into danger. I have witnessed domestic violence. My mother was a victim. I have said this before. Whatever I did to Sean was for you. She said in broken whispers. My heart calmed. Thank you. I said calmly and gave her a warm hug. My phone rang and when I checked, it was Andre. It's Andre. I said. Talk to him, this could be the right person who would take your mind off Sean. No. I don't want a relationship now. I said softly. I understand. Take it easy. Your birthday is around the corner, so brighten up a bit. I am off to fashion class for my test. Arusi said, giving a forceful smile. I strolled to the library that afternoon to read for my last test before the final examination. My emptiness was filled with anger, heartbreak, and thoughts of Sean. As I walked into the library, someone covered my mouth and dragged me backwardly to a corner. I wasn't sure who it was, until the smell of his perfume hit me hard on the nose. He quaked and trembled as he sought my mouth. He tried to control his movements, to still his heartbeat, but he was on fire. He kissed me deeply and then hugged me with my hands tied down to his inner wrap. I am sorry, please listen to me. I have missed you so much, baby. Look at me, I am falling sick because of you. I am lovesick, my heart. He said in a trembling voice. I don't want to see you anymore. I said tearily. It's not true, I know you still love me. Arusi told you to say these things to me. He whispered. He drew me into his arms, holding me tightly. There is so much we have to say to each other. I have an issue. I am meeting with a therapist soon. I am ready to change for you, Etienne. I am having post-traumatic stress disorder. It leads to depression at times. It doesn't have a cure, but my therapist will work with me. You liar. I yelled. He grabbed me to himself and forcefully kissed me again. Long moments passed as his body interlocked with mine. I pushed him off and ran away. He ran after me like his life depended on it. I woke up to the sweet aroma of a fresh baked cake from the oven. Arusi had woken up early to bake a cake for my birthday. She spent the morning making a chocolate cake. She made fried spicy chicken with onion sauce. Arusi was a perfect cook. It was 9 a.m. in the morning. The room was decked with pink decorations. It was my birthday, and Arusi was planning to surprise me again with her amazing games. Happy birthday, best friend. Wendy screamed as she walked into my room. She was dressed in a short black dress. She walked seductively towards me and handed me a gift bag. That's for you, from me and my Augustus. Oh, thank you, Wendy. I said excitedly and hugged her lightly. Take a shower quickly, Arusi is planning a small party. She whispered. I swung from the bed immediately and rushed to have a shower. Wendy sang happy birthday lyrics all through with her phone. The doorbell rang and she rushed out to see who it was. I began to hear boisterous voices from the sitting room, people conversing excitedly. Where is the celebrant? A familiar voice asked from the sitting room. I quickly wore my shorts and a sweater and walked sluggishly to the sitting room. Birthday girl is here. Andre screamed excitedly. I was surprised to see him at my house that morning. Are you shocked to see me? Your roommate told me about the party yesterday in school. Andre said, rubbing his hands together. Arusi came out of the kitchen immediately, smelling of thyme and rosemary leaves. I forgot to tell you that I met Andre yesterday at the fashion class. He came to audition models, and he picked me. I had to tell him about your birthday. She said excitedly. Oh really? Nice. I said, and gave a delightful smile. Thank you for coming, Andre. I said. Wendy played a classy music from the sound system, while Arusi went out and came out with a little white hairy puppy. She wore her pink dress. "Awi, this is so beautiful," I said, rubbing my hands on the hairy puppy. "It's for you. Happy birthday once more," she said, and handed the puppy to me. "I named her Fiona," she said, looking pleased. I took Fiona from her, smiling wide. It was a Barbet, French water dog. It was the most beautiful hairy dog I had ever seen. "Oh, she is gorgeous. She looks like the Australian Shepherd Augustus got for me on my 27th birthday," Wendy said, fanning herself with hands. "Oh dear Arusi, thank you for giving us a baby," I said, stroking Fiona in the ears. Andre was about to say something when the doorbell rang. "Do we have another invitee?" Wendy asked, looking amazed. "Let me check." Arusi gave me a guarded look before darting away. She opened the door and my heart skipped at the sight of Sean. He was kneeling down with a car key and a diamond ring placed in a small box. Andre was confused, Wendy looked pleased, and I was startled. "Marry me please, my love," he said in a baritone voice. "Happy birthday baby," he whispered aloud as he lifted the car key in the air. There was calmness in the air as I stared in a confused state. I stood for a moment undecided. Getting married to Sean was going to bring a lot of fame to me, contracts from fashion brands, etc. I rubbed my hands on Fiona and sat slowly on the couch. Andre, Wendy, and Arusi sat down and nodded to the sound of the music from the home theater. It took me all the courage to walk towards Sean without trembling. Arusi gave me an eye blink, meaning that I shouldn't listen to Sean. But I took my eyes from her. I loved Sean, and I was tired of living with a frustrated emotion of not being with him anymore. He muttered something under his breath and held the door for me, then followed down the steps. His hand spanned my waist. He led me to a brand new lemon color Wrangler Jeep, then he knelt down again. "Marry me baby." Before I knew what was happening, he had placed the ring on my finger, then he kissed me deep. At first, I was hesitant, but he held the ring tight to my finger. "I wanna make preparations so that you can meet Mom and Dad in New Orleans by the weekend," he said excitedly, then kissed me again, and then put the car key in between my cleavage. I smiled up at him as he walked away into his car. I went back to the house that morning with the smell of Sean's Gucci guilty clinging to my sweater and my hair. As I stepped into the house, the atmosphere changed. "Where is Andre?" I asked. "He just left," Wendy replied. "Oh my. That's a diamond ring, 18. "Yes, I have accepted to marry Sean," I said with a wistful smile. "Oh yeah. I hope he won't lay his hands on you anymore. This ring looks so much like the ring my Augustus got for me from Dubai. It's so much like it," Wendy said, running her hands on the ring. Arusi's face was frowned, as she pretended to be stroking Fiona. "Arusi, I am getting married. Are you not happy for me?" I asked excitedly. "No, I am not. You think that marrying Sean will be the end to his violence on you. The moment you walked out of this door to go after Sean, I had given up. You just walked into a life of frustration and pain. That guy would trap you. Don't say a thing like that, Arusi. We should be happy for her. He just got her a car," Wendy exclaimed with an expressionless face. "You two must be really greedy. And so what? If he got her a damn car, and so fuck what? He is just trying to buy her heart into marrying him, so that he can concentrate on dealing with you," Arusi said angrily and walked into the room. On the evening of my birthday, Sean came to pick me up for dinner at La Croix restaurant. He was dressed in a suit. I had never seen him that handsome in a while. I tucked my hands into the fold of his arms as we got into my new car. Sean thought of me to be beautiful, intelligent, and the most desirable woman he had ever known. He loved my dress, but he didn't say. He only stared at it. I wore a lightweight blue and pink gingham gown. After we had dinner, I expected Sean to drive me back to my house, but he drove back to his house. "I missed your body," he whispered, while driving slowly towards his estate. He noticed that I was shivering. He stopped the car and pulled out his jacket for me to wear. When I got to his house, I made my way to his bedroom and threw myself on the bed like a child. Sean walked into the room with 2 cups of hot coffee in a tray. He handed a cup to me. I sipped it bit by bit as I stared directly at him. He stayed at my side as he watched me sip the hot coffee. He watched my eyes closed, and I fell asleep. He touched my lips with his finger and dragged my eyes open, then closed them again. "I love you with my life," he said in broken whispers. "I love you too," I said, opening one side of my eyes to glance at him. Then he began to kiss me wholeheartedly. I buried my face in his neck as he unhooked my bra and began to touch me erotically. I woke up the next morning to the sound of my cell phone beeping. I was naked and lying on top of a sound asleep Sean. At some point in the night, we had made love a lot of times at night, and there was something oddly special about making love with Sean. He woke up later to find a well-garnished food of spaghetti bolognese and fried chicken. "Thank you, baby. I missed your delicacies," he said huskily as he stabbed a huge deep-fried piece of orange chicken with a fork. The chicken made a crunching sound like he forced the fork into a lollipop. He shoved the chicken into his mouth. "Baby, this is really delicious," he said, munching the chicken noisily. Moments later, Sean and I were fully dressed for New Orleans. It took over 3 hours to get to New Orleans from Philadelphia. A driver was waiting for us at the airport. When the driver sighted Sean and I, he hurriedly walked down and got our luggage. He was an older man, whom we called Papa in Nigeria, but he referred to us sir and ma'am. "Welcome, sir. Good to have you in New Orleans, ma'am," he said delightedly. "Thank you." I nodded with a smile. He opened the car door smartly. Sean gave a way for me to get into the car first, while he followed behind me. We alighted at Sean's parents' house on Claiborne Avenue for a short while. A house so huge and classy. There were gardens, water fountains, and beautiful flowers surrounding it. A gust of wind danced through my hair as I stepped on the large bright lighted sitting room, filled with expensive decorations. "Welcome, son." A white woman dressed in a native Indian attire walked out stylishly, followed by young girls dressed in the same uniform and an apron attached to it. The woman hugged Sean warmly, and then smiled widely at me before giving me a deeper hug. "Welcome, my dear," she said excitedly. "Your dad is inside, waiting anxiously for you too," she said, as she led the way through a corridor that led to an exclusive larger part of the house. We left New Orleans in the early hours of the next day. Sean's parents were heartwarming and loving. They were excited that their only son would be walking down the aisle soon. The sound of his father's laughter kept ringing in my head, his mother's beauty stalked in my imagination. We had the usual women's talk and I got to know that Sean's mom had a best friend who married a Nigerian. Sean and I talked eagerly about his parents until we got to Philadelphia. "I am glad they loved you," he said excitedly, and gave a warm and wide smile. "Yeah. I love them too," I said softly. Sean's company driver dropped me at my house and then took Sean to the office. We gave each other a soft kiss. I got home feeling guilty. I didn't tell Arusi that I wasn't coming home the previous night. I stepped into the house with the mindset of apologizing first to her. I met Fiona being cuddled up in her arms. They were deeply asleep. My presence woke them up. "Hey. You are back?" "Yeah. I am just coming in from New Orleans. Went to see Sean's parents." "Okay, that's great. I hope they aren't racist. It's hard for American parents to let their only son get betrothed to a black woman. Surprisingly, they are not." "Great. I want to apologize for what I said to you yesterday concerning Sean. I wasn't supposed to say that on your birthday. I am so sorry. I know you two love each other so much. Just be careful," she said soothingly, then continued. "I just want you to be happily married like Wendy. Mine will be a blissful one indeed. Sean will change, he has promised. You see, Arusi, I have never met a man like Sean in my entire life. He gives me all I want. I grew up from a poor family. I don't want to die in poverty. In Nigeria, there is no guy who would do the things Sean does for me. Except maybe married men, but you hardly see them. He will change, he loves me. I hope so too. Or else I am gonna kick his ass this time." she teased, and we both laughed in unison. Bending down, I placed a light kiss on Fiona's head. "How is my new baby doing?" I held her in my hands and stroked her a bit. "When is the wedding?" Arusi asked anxiously. "I don't know yet, but Sean's mom wants everything to be done fast. Oh Rumi, so you are going to leave me in this big house alone, right? Fiona and I will be visiting you, yeah. Fiona, we are going to be visiting Arusi from town, right?" I said with faintly sneering smile. "Andre got really sad yesterday. He has been calling to find out if you're fine. He should stop checking on me. I am going to be Sean's wife soon. He caused that fight between Sean and I in Maui," I said with a serious face. "Oh, let me not forget to share the good news. I told you that Andre auditioned me at the last fashion class." Arusi threw in another conversation. "Yeah. Well, we will be leaving for Paris Fashion Week by weekend for my first runway walk, proudly sponsored by Ralph Lauren and lots of fashion brands." "Oh wow. Congratulations Arusi, and that's not all, baby. We are going to be well paid. Andre promised to give me more opportunities after this one," she said delightedly. "It seems you and Andre are getting along." I thought aloud. "Well, he is my good friend," Arusi said casually. "Ours was a dream wedding for everyone. Sean's family spent so much money to make our wedding an exclusive one. It was strictly by invitation. The invitation list was made for just 100 people. My dress was a Sarah Burton, a designer for Alexander McQueen. The wedding dress cost over $388,000. Our 10-tier vanilla and buttercream cake was made by Sylvia Weinstock, a family friend to the Elliots. It was going to be the most memorable day of my life, and Sean made it special. We got married on the island of Bora Bora, French Polynesia. The beautiful island had the shape of a giant sombrero. It was a lush volcanic island. All our invitees, including my friends, Sean's friends, and family, lodged at Blue Heaven Island Lodge. Wendy couldn't be my maid of honor because she had fresh injuries on her forehead and her mouth. She came for the wedding reluctantly. According to her, she fell from a jacuzzi bathtub. She covered her face with a black sunglasses and a pinkish smock. Arusi had to be my maid of honor and the friend who made a toast. "Oh no, you are the most beautiful bride I have ever seen it," Arusi exclaimed. Wendy walked in with a bunch of pink roses. "You are so beautiful, best friend," she exclaimed excitedly. "Thank you," I whispered. Arusi and Wendy joined in dressing me, while the makeup artist applied a small quantity of MAC powder on my face. The filmy white gown came floating down as I stood to face the mirror. Wendy slid my feet into the white, pearl-coated, satin shoes and glanced into the mirror. "Perfect," she said shrilly. Sean's father walked into the room and gave a long stare at my dress. "My daughter-in-law is a beautiful damsel," he admitted softly. Everyone in the room laughed in unison. For a long, unsettling moment, lots of cameramen walked in and took pictures of me in different positions. I was almost on the verge of tears when I saw the beautiful decorations and the crowd of people who stood still as I walked on the flowered-filled aisle. Sean turned to study me, a deep furrow creased his handsome brow. "You both look incredible," a woman by my side whispered. Emotion struck me as I drew even with him. He took my hands and felt it tremble. "My beautiful bride," he whispered to my ears, a distinctly husky catch in his mesmerizing voice. Everything was done briefly. We knelt before the priest as he blessed us. We made matrimonial vows and exchange of rings. Everything became emotional when Sean shared his vows. I felt his eyes on me the whole time, but I could stare back. His words made sense. He didn't rush over them. The priest pronounced us man and wife. There was loud applause from the crowd. He swept me into his arms for a slow, lingering kiss. While we danced out, my eyes caught with Andre, admiring Arusi like he had never seen her before. My heart told me that there was something going on between them. He had feelings for Arusi. It was a relief for me too. Our honeymoon was accompanied by lots of trips to various places like Walt Disney World of Universal Studios, Miami, South Beach, Art Deco and Little Havana, Portland, Nashville, and we finally settled at Sean's house in Philadelphia. I removed my dress and tossed it on the chair as soon as I got to our bedroom. It was spring in Philadelphia, and the dogwoods were finally in bloom. I had snipped off several branches and was now arranging them in a tall crystal vase. Sean held my waist from behind and kissed me on my cheeks. "My beautiful wife," he exclaimed. There was joy in his tone. We had made love uncountable times at our honeymoon locations, and it was time to talk about work and our ambitions. "When are you resuming work?" I broke the silence. "In 2 days." He replied softly. "After my project, I am supposed to resume as a model in your company or?" "Baby, let's not talk about your working now, finish up with the project in school first," he said huskily, pulling me to himself and kissing me deep. At first I was hesitant. I wanted to continue with my dogwoods, but his hand went beneath my robe and settled over one of my breasts. My eyes closed, and I gave him my lips. I was fairly panting by the time he raised his head. My hand slid over the fasteners on his trousers, and I opened them while he watched with his impatience. He almost shot out of the chair when I pushed my clothes aside and touched him intimately, feeling him swell in his hands. We made a passionate love and he kissed me all through until he ejaculated. "Thank you, baby," he whispered, breathing heavily. My phone beeped, and when I reluctantly checked, it was Arusi. "Hello Rumi, missing me already?" I asked excitedly. "Of course, I want to bring Fiona to you and your books. I also have something very important to talk about." "Okay. I will send the driver to come pick you up in a jiffy," I said as I hung up the call. "Is that Arusi?" Sean asked, still breathing heavily under the duvet. "Yeah, she's bringing some of my stuffs." "That friend of yours that never liked me?" "Oh baby, she was just being protective of me." "Pardon her, she is like a sister to me now, she and Wendy." "It's okay." Talking of Wendy, she looked really sad on our wedding. She fell from a bathtub. She wasn't excited at all. "Oh sad. Good luck to your friends, unlike me that doesn't have a single friend." "You are my only friend," he said and gave a spontaneous laugh that took me by surprise. Moments later, the driver went to pick Arusi and she was right on my couch patiently waiting for me. "Beautiful house. Looks like those big empires I see in movies," she said softly as Fiona jumped from her legs to mine. I gave her a soft kiss and cuddled her a bit. "Thank you," I retorted and gave her a warm hug. "First, before I hand over your stuffs, I have something to tell you." "Okay, go ahead." "As far as it's good news. Andre proposed to me last night. We've had a date a couple of times and I think I like him. He loves me. I know it," she said, her voice trembling. "Oh, I am happy for you, Arusi," I exclaimed and hugged her tight to myself. Arusi and Andre had a quiet and small wedding at St. Peter's Cathedral in Philadelphia. It was simple and quiet. The weather was bright and clear, and seemed to smile on Arusi's wedding day. Arusi's siblings came from Kenya to attend their sister's wedding. It was a joyous celebration. The sound of genuine laughter came from Andre when a lady said, "Your wife is beautiful." They kissed so passionately like they've known each other for years. After the wedding, I drove home alone. The faces of Arusi and Andre smiling wide to the cameraman kept flashing on my mind. It was obvious that they were happy. "So, Andre finally married someone from your group?" Sean asked sarcastically, after I showed him the wedding pictures from my phone. "Yeah. I am happy for them. Andre is a good guy and Arusi is a good lady. I envied her today, she was so beautiful," I said, smiling wide at the wedding picture on my phone. "You envied her because she married Andre, or because you too wanted Andre?" He rose to his feet. "I don't think that is a fair judgment on what I just said. I envy my friend, not jealous. They are two different words, Sean. If I wanted Andre, I would have had him. After all, he wanted me too," I said arrogantly. Before I could blink my eye the second time, Sean had dragged me to the floor and matched one side of my leg with his weighty legs. He pulled me and hit my head on the wall frequently. "How dare you say that to me? Are you crazy? With all that I have done for you, you still envy an ex-lover?" Sean yelled at me, while dragging me on the floor. I screamed for help until my voice went low and dry. I fought him and cried out, "Leave me alone, you misunderstood me." An hour later, he left me in the room, breathing rapidly like he fought a lion. "Fuck you," he yelled and banged the door. Fiona ran out crying from under the bed and rubbing her body on mine. I held her into my arms while I wept. My tears dampened her hairy skin. I stroked her a bit, not willing to let her go. My dog Fiona was the only reality in a frightening world. I was trying to close my eyes and let go of the pains I was feeling when my phone rang. It was Arusi. I thought she wanted to thank me for the wristwatch I gave her as a gift for her wedding, so I ignored. The phone rang again and I reluctantly picked the call this time. "Hello," my voice became crackly. "Etienne, there is a problem," she screamed in a shaky tone. "What is it?" My heart trembled. "A sheriff just called from Petersburg Estate. Augustus pushed Wendy from a story building to the last floor. I heard she is badly injured." "What? Augustus did that?" I screamed. My heart skipped countless times as my hands shook too. "Where are you now?" I asked in dismay. "My husband is taking me to her house right away." "Come to her house right away," she said, breathing so fast over the phone. I took a pair of leggings and a sweater, grabbed Fiona, and drove speedily to Petersburg Estate. I took a deep breath in and out, until I could exhale freely. I opened my eyes, looking startled when I saw police vans in front of Wendy's house. The red and blue siren lights reflected into my eyes. I saw Wendy being laid on a stretcher and covered with a white sheet. "What the hell happened?" I asked Arusi tearily. "Oh Etienne, thank God you are here," the neighbors said. They had a serious fight as usual. Arusi said, breathing fast. She shook her head and nestled against Andre, who was quiet all through the incident. A white woman dressed in pajamas approached us. "Who is Etienne?" She tried to pronounce my name. "It's me," I said, my voice trembling in the cold. "Wendy talked so much about you. She gave me a journal to give to you. She said you had the password." "I don't know," she said in a trembling tone, as she handed the journal to me. "Are you aware of what happened, ma'am?" I asked, as I got the journal from her. Augustus was the wrong man for Wendy. Most of the time, he comes back home late and then all you hear is the noise of screams and yells. He beats Wendy almost every single day. Even when I alerted the police, they picked him up 2 months ago when he hit his wife's face on a jacuzzi bathtub countless times. She passed out, if not for the help of Dr. Escoda, our neighbor. She said in a shaky old voice. "I hope she will be fine this time." Moments later, Augustus was taken out of the house, his hands chained to the handcuffs. His eyes were red, his face filled with bloody bruises and marks. "This is sad. I can't believe that Augustus used to beat Wendy," Arusi said softly. "I am in shock," I retorted. "I don't know what will make a man beat up a woman. It's crazy." "How can you beat a woman you love?" Andre asked. I drew in a shuddering breath as I stared at Wendy being taken into the emergency van. "I think I should stay with her." "You two can go on with your honeymoon, she will be fine," I said warmly as I handed over Fiona to Arusi in a hurry. Tears ran through my eyes as I watched Wendy lying on the stretcher. It became clear that we were both victims of domestic violence. As we got to the hospital, the emergency unit rushed Wendy out of the stretcher and placed her on a bed. I ran after her. The nurses didn't let me inside the ward. But I could view what they were doing to her from the glass window. I stood still like a mannequin watching as the doctors tried to revive Wendy from her unconscious state, but she wasn't responding, my hands trembling violently. A doctor dressed in a blue uniform walked gently to me. It was as if he was in slow motion. I stared at him until he got to where I stood. "I am sorry, ma'am, we lost her," he said. His mouth was moving, but I couldn't hear what he was saying anymore. The first line of sentences he made sounded in my head like a bomb blast. "What do you mean, doctor? She is dead. She had severe internal bleeding and also had a miscarriage. We couldn't help her. I am sorry." The doctor sounded like a recording. I imagined him saying the same thing to Arusi, in the exact tone. I turned and looked at her lifeless body on that bed. Tears streamed out of my eyes. I wept unconditionally as the nurses covered her face with a white sheet.